Right, assignment 4 is not up yet. We are still tweaking one of the data sets and descriptions, so we're trying to make sure all the things are in the right place for you. I really hope I'll be able to release that today. And you guys can get started on it, but of course you're all still working on assignment 3, so hopefully that's going a bit more smoothly. The groups thing, I believe, is solved now, so let me know if it's not. I figured out what I was doing wrong. There's a one little checkbox that auto creates them, so I think some people did grab their favorite number and make a group and then use the Dropbox, so you can do that. And yeah, just remember to make sure you also create your group on CrowdMark. That's actually more important for the grading of the report, although we need them all to be consistent so that we can track them. What else was problematic yesterday? You're like, no, don't hurry releasing the assignment. So the fourth assignment is, let me just turn this headphone off, it won't work anyways. It's on deep learning. So you're going to be using basically deep learning to do two dataset problems. So one of the datasets is going to be the familiar COVID dataset that you used for Ontario before. You'll have the same dataset. What did we do? We added the dates in. So if you want to use neural networks that use time, like recurrent neural networks, you can use that. But basically try to improve on your scores for labeling the outcome of patients in that Ontario COVID dataset using deep learning. So last time you used kind of standard machine learning methods, so now you're going to do that. And then the other dataset is a modification we've made to this dataset called Fashion MNIST. When we talk about CNNs, which I guess won't be till Monday probably, you can read about them before. There's this standard data set of MNIST, which is very famous. You've probably seen somewhere. It's just a data set of handwritten numbers. So it's very famous and was part of the reason that convolutional neural networks, which are good for processing images, were trained on this and sort of beating this and solving this is one of the first big successes of CNNs, because it's difficult. It seems like it shouldn't be that difficult, but there's very irregular ways of writing, especially the number 4 and the number 2. Like, there's a lot of variety here. And so can you get it's as a classification problem though, right? So the original classification problem here is there are 10 classes and you're given these images and the features are just black and white, so binary pixels, right? So every one of these pixels is a feature, and you just got basically a line of zeros and ones to describe these numbers, right? And how do you do that, right? So the feed-forward neural networks we're talking about this week are pretty bad for this because it's very wasteful to try to represent all those features. But when you do it in a more efficient way of representing the weights, which is what CNNs do, it became more useful. So that's a very famous data set. Your Fashion MNIST data set is the same layout, but it's a little bit more variety, so it's pieces of clothing, but they use the kind of same structure. I guess they're grayscale. You have to classify, the original data set to classify one of the 10 types of clothing. We've changed the label, so you don't know what the label is. It's some formula we've made of the data here. It could be using the number of pixels, it could be using patterns on the pixels or anything, and you got to build a CNN to try to predict our label that we'll be giving you. And that'll be set up as our own Kaggle competition. So that will be what assignment 4 is. And you'll have a month to work on that. And it's more about exploring deep learning and trying to do your best on these two data sets and reporting your analysis. Why was I in Learn? I came in Learn for a reason, because I want to show you week 11. I've added some links here. Oh, even just seeing this. Oh, you haven't been seeing my screen at all, have you? This whole time you've been looking at my mirror world thing. So I was actually showing pictures, which you guys could not see. For context of that previous thing, here's what I was saying. So you can splice that into your memory of what I was saying before. That's the MNIST dataset, and this is the fashion MNIST thing that I was talking about. Sorry, I didn't realize I had the other screen on, so you couldn't see it. Okay, so what are these other things in here? So these, I just dragged in right now because I was trying to get a better topic. That's this chapter, and then this chapter. These are just links to the website for it. What was it? Regularization. So like I said, this course isn't like necessarily required text. You can find your resources wherever you want, but this textbook from a couple of years ago is quite definitive on it. Not everyone likes their notation, but they do show things in a pretty thorough way.